What if I told you the answer to the Toronto Maple Leafs' perennial defensive puzzle might just be a phone call away? A bold stroke of genius from Brad Treliving that could finally unlock their true potential. Are you tired of the same old blue line, the same old questions, the same old heartbreaks? Today, we're diving deep into a trade proposal that has the potential to electrify the Leafs' defense and change the narrative entirely. Get ready, because this isn't just talk. This is a blueprint for a brighter future. The Toronto Maple Leafs, as we stand on the cusp of the 2025-26 season, find themselves in a familiar, almost eerily stagnant position when it comes to their defensive core. All 6 of the defensemen who suited up for their playoff run last season are locked into contracts, presenting a blue line that, on paper, looks identical to the one that finished the previous campaign. While stability can be a virtue, for a team with Stanley Cup aspirations, identical can sometimes feel like stagnant. The collective groan from the fan base is palpable. The hunger for a significant shakeup, a jolt of new energy, is undeniable. General Manager Brad Treliving, known for his willingness to make big moves, has been under the microscope, with many believing he simply must continue to explore options to retool the back end. The status quo for this team is simply not good enough. Enter Caleb Kearney of Heavy Sports, who recently tossed a fascinating, high-stakes trade proposal into the hockey world's collective consciousness. His vision? A seismic shift involving the Los Angeles Kings, a transaction that would see 2 promising, yet distinctly different defensemen swap jerseys. The proposed deal sends Brandt Clarke to the Maple Leafs, with Brandon Carlo heading to the Kings. This trade would be significant for both teams, Kearney stated, highlighting the mutual benefits. The Maple Leafs would acquire the offensive defenseman they're looking for, while the Kings would make their defense even tougher to play against. It's a classic hockey trade. One team shoring up a perceived weakness with a specific skill set, the other bolstering an existing strength. But let's peel back the layers and see why this isn't just a hypothetical, but a potentially game-changing reality. First, let's talk about the prize for Toronto, Brandt Clarke. At just 22 years old, Clarke represents the modern offensive defenseman archetype. Drafted 8th overall in the 2021 NHL draft, his pedigree is impeccable. Standing at 6'2" and 200 pounds, he's not just a finesse player. He has a frame to compete. Last season, Clarke put up an impressive 33 points in 78 games, averaging a respectable 16-17 of ice time per night. What does that tell us? It tells us he's already producing at the NHL level, and he's only scratching the surface of his potential. His game is defined by elite skating, exceptional puck-moving ability, and a keen offensive instinct that allows him to quarterback a power play and generate scoring chances from the blue line. He sees the ice with a different lens, creating opportunities where others see dead ends. For a Maple Leafs team that often struggles to transition the puck cleanly and generate consistent offense from their defensemen beyond Morgan Reilly, Clarke is not just an addition, he's a revelation. He's also entering the final year of his 3-year, $2.59 million contract with the Kings, making him a tantalizing asset with manageable cap hit in the short term and the potential for a long-term anchor on the blue line. Now, let's consider the player heading to Los Angeles, Brandon Carlo. At 28 years old, Carlo is a seasoned, defensive-minded blue liner whose primary focus is shutting down opponents. Originally drafted 37th overall by the Boston Bruins in 2015, Carlo spent the bulk of his career in a top-4 role, known for his physicality, reach, and shot-blocking prowess. He was acquired by the Maple Leafs before last season's trade deadline, bringing a much-needed dose of grit and defensive responsibility to Toronto. In 83 games with the Leafs, he recorded 12 points, 78 shots, 90 hits, and a staggering 157 block shots, all while averaging $18.53 per game. Carlo is a warrior, a player who sacrifices his body, clears the crease, and makes life miserable for opposing forwards. He's the kind of player every team needs in their lineup, a reliable, no-nonsense presence. He also carries a more significant contract, with 2 years remaining on the 6-year, $24.6 million deal he originally signed with the Bruins in 2021. This financial aspect, combined with his defensive-first approach, makes him an attractive piece for a team like the Kings looking to solidify an already formidable defense. From Toronto's perspective, this trade isn't just about acquiring a good player. It's about addressing a fundamental imbalance on their blue line. The Leafs' defense, while featuring veterans like Morgan Rielly and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who can contribute offensively, is largely composed of defense-first specialists. They've proven capable of neutralizing opponents and playing a tight game, but what they desperately lack is that dynamic, game-breaking offensive presence from the right side. Clark's speed, his ability to carry the puck up ice, and his potent offensive instincts would inject a new dimension into the Maple Leafs attack. He wouldn't just balance the blue line. He would elevate it, providing a crucial piece that could unlock more consistent offense and better zone exits. Imagine the possibilities with Clark quarterbacking a second power play unit, or joining the rush with the likes of Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. It's a tantalizing prospect that could finally provide the missing link for a team desperate to go deep into the playoffs. For the Los Angeles Kings, the calculus is different. Giving up a highly touted prospect like Brandt Clarke might seem counterintuitive, especially for a team building for future. However, the Kings already boast a strong defensive core and might prioritize a proven, veteran presence who could immediately slot into a shutdown role. Carlo's experience, his consistent defensive play, and his leadership could be invaluable for a Kings team aiming to be even tougher to play against. They would be trading potential for certainty, a young offensive talent for a battle-tested defensive stalwart. It's a move that speaks to a win-now mentality while still maintaining a strong foundation. The Kings' defense, already a strength, will become an even more imposing fortress with Carlo patrolling the blue line. Of course, the big question remains, is this trade actually feasible? The Los Angeles Kings may not be ready to part ways with Brandt Clarke just yet. Prospects with his upside are rare, and teams are often hesitant to give up on them too early. However, if the Kings were indeed willing to engage in such a transaction, the Toronto Maple Leafs should pounce without hesitation. Brad Treliving has shown he's not afraid to make bold moves, and the pressure on him to improve the team's defensive structure is immense. While making a move of this magnitude before the season starts might be challenging, all eyes should be on Treliving as the trade deadline approaches, especially if the Maple Leafs find themselves struggling out of the gate in 2025 to 26. The need for change is evident, and this proposal offers a clear path to a more balanced, dynamic, and ultimately more successful blue line. This isn't just a trade, it's a statement. It's a declaration that the Maple Leafs are serious about contending, serious about addressing their weaknesses, and serious about bringing a championship to Toronto. The addition of Brandt Clarke wouldn't just be a roster move. It would be a strategic realignment, a bold step towards building a truly complete team. It's the kind of move that sparks conversation, ignites hope, and could very well define the next era of Maple Leafs hockey. So, what do you think, Leafs Nation? Does this trade proposal get your blood pumping? Would Brandt Clarke be the missing piece for Toronto, or would giving up Brandon Carlo be too steep a price? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're as passionate about this team as we are, hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth analysis and breaking news.